Hi friends, who are the top 5 most picked legends in Apex Legends Season 11? I'm going to look at the stats and tell you exactly who the most picked legends are at the moment, and perhaps it will give you an idea of which legend you might want to use more in Apex Legends Season 11. The 5th most picked legend at the moment is Ashe. Her pick rate reached up to 20% when Season 11 first launched, but that's kind of normal for a new legend because everyone wants to try her out and see how good she is. Since then it's stabilised at around 7.5%, and I would say this is still a fairly high pick rate for a new legend. Typically they tend to drop off a lot more, and I think this does just show how strong Ashe really is. Lots of other recent legends have seen their pick rate really drop off significantly since their launch. I'll give you the example of Sia, who's all the way down at 2.2% pick rate. That just gives you some perspective of how good Ashe must be if she's still maintaining a 7.5% pick rate. And I think part of this is because her ultimate is really useful, and her tactical and passive means she's not just a movement legend, she's got other uses for the team aside from just movement abilities. Moving on to the 4th most picked legend, and we've got Pathfinder with an 8.8% pick rate. Pathfinder's been fairly consistent since the game first launched, and Season 11 is no different. Since the improvements to the previously nerfed grapple, I would say Pathfinder is a solid choice, and that's part of the reason why he's got such a good pick rate. In my mind, I would even say Pathfinder's nicely balanced at the moment compared to a lot of other legends. The only thing I think does need looking at is his passive, because if we're being really honest, it's one of the least useful passives compared to many other legends. You just don't feel like you're getting much out of it. The 3rd most picked legend, we've got Bloodhound with an 8.9% pick rate. Back in Season 10 when Sia launched, we saw Bloodhound's pick rate drop significantly because many people thought Sia was the better option. However, Sia was nerfed fairly quickly after the launch of Season 10, and that saw a lot of players switching back to Bloodhound. From my point of view, I do think Bloodhound is still the best scanning legend around, and no other legend really gives out the kind of team information you get from a Bloodhound. And like I said, many thought Sia might replace Bloodhound as the recon legend that you would have in your team composition, but clearly you can see from the pick rates, the 8.9% of Bloodhound versus the 2.2% of Sia, that Bloodhound is clearly the winner and the go-to recon legend at the moment. Moving on, the 2nd most picked legend, and we've got Octane at 11.1% pick rate. There have been some fluctuations this season between Octane and Bloodhound as who the 2nd most picked legend is, but at the moment, based on the last 7 days, it's Octane. We have seen in the previous few seasons Octane even fluctuating with the 1st place as the most picked legend, and you'll find out who the current 1st place is shortly. Part of the reason for this is because I think Octane, put simply, is just a fun legend that gives you a lot of movement and energy, and this makes your gameplay a lot more fun. Part of Octane's rise has been since his jump pad was buffed back in Season 8. Ever since then, Octane has been a really strong pick, not just individually, but now also for the team. And from a personal point of view, if I just want to chill out and have fun, then Octane's one of my go-to legends. Oh, and if you're wondering who the lowest pick legend is, then unfortunately it's Crypto, with a 1.4% pick rate. And I think this is part of the reason why there are so many rumours of Crypto getting a buff next season. Anyway, let's move on to the 1st place, and I'm sure you're all dying to find out who the most picked legend is at the moment in Apex Legends. Well, maybe it's no surprise, because it is Rafe. She has an 11.3% pick rate. Now, a lot of people thought when Season 11 launched that lots of Rafe mains would switch over to Ashe, but clearly, as you can see, that's not the case. The fact is, Rafe's tactical and ultimate just make her too useful individually and to her team for any other legend to pass her as the most picked legend. And clearly people just recognise that Rafe is just too strong to not have in your team composition, whether you're playing ranked or even pubs. Even with all the changes to her kit over the previous season, I would have to agree that Rafe really is still one of the strongest legends in the game, and this reflects in her being the most picked legend in Apex Legends at the moment. Hopefully, finding out who the top 5 most picked legends are will give you an idea of which legends other people are picking, and this might help you decide if you're thinking who to play in Apex Legends. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.